Welcome to the middle of the working week at the 9th of October, and just checking through some of the stories today, I had to check exactly, it's the middle of October. A story like this shouldn't be appearing on the headlines. The Bangkok Post, toxic smog returns to Greater Bangkok. Now, usually it might be February or March each year we'd be reading stories out like this, but, well, here we are. Several areas in Bangkok and nearby provinces were blanketed with hazardous levels of smog yesterday, the pollution trapped in stagnant air. So a more traditional reason for smog, not transnational smoke coming across the borders and floating its way down to Bangkok. This is pretty much just trapped pollution and industrial smog. And further down there, apart from the capital affecting Nakhon Pathom, Nonthaburi, Samut Prakan and Samut Sakhon. The nationwide peak was outside the Bangkok area in Kanchanaburi, that's out in the west of Thailand, and the lowest was, Phang Well, I'm not going to miss that opportunity. If you want to come and visit one of the beach houses in the lowest air polluted areas in Thailand today, you're more than welcome. The meteorological department said the fug was expected to remain over Greater Bangkok until October the 16th. I'm not sure if fug is a new word, a cross between fog and something I'm not sure about. Anyway, I'm sure that is meant to be fog. So let's check with IQ Air, and this is basically Bangkok and its immediate surrounds. And a few red and orange spots in there, but mostly green and yellow, at least this morning. Just checking wider Thailand, up in the north, even a few fires. The northeast seems to have the worst polluted air in Thailand at the moment, with just not a lot of wind blowing the pollution away. So this time it looks like it's the usual suspects, no airflow, industrial and traffic-created pollution. And just over a week after that tragic bus fire just north of Bangkok, we got this story from Calsod English. Thailand bids farewell to 23 lives as safety measures under scrutiny. Cries and grief echoed once again as relatives and friends bid farewell to 23 students and teachers at the royal cremation ceremony held at the Wat Khao Phraya Sankaram School in Lansak, Uthai Thani province yesterday. And we should note there that 3 students are still being treated for injuries in hospital in Pathum Thani and Bangkok. Thousands of people attended the funeral, which in the morning included the former Prime Minister Srettha Thavisin, ministers, politicians, government officials and the public for a memorial service. In the afternoon, the royal cremation ceremony was held, with the President of the Privy Council presiding. During the procession to the crematorium, the bright, sunny sky suddenly darkened, according to Calsod English, and it rained lightly for 10 minutes, leading some attendees to say it was like tears of sorrow. Some of that drone video footage suggesting that it was perhaps a bit more than a light shower. Well, let's check what's sort of happening in the background. The fatal accident has led to ongoing investigations, legal proceedings and preventative measures. Questions remain about whether the solutions will be sustainable after the funeral of these 23 lives, especially regarding law enforcement by state officials to prevent corruption or negligence that could lead to tragedies like this one. Additionally, the Marine Department was ordered to inspect all 15,000 passenger boats nationwide and 108 restaurant boats, checking energy systems related to cooking, gas tanks and natural gas energy for safety. There is a lot of compressed gas used in Thailand, not only in transport but in cooking. Just about every single street vendor's got a gas tank connected to their car. Even got a gas tank connected to our barbecue here, which we use for all our cooking. So compressed gas is a bit of a way of life here in Thailand. The important thing now is just to make sure, as best we can, that it's safe. Acknowledging our sponsors, 5-Star Marine, 5starmarinephuket.com, also beachhousethailand.com, Links in the description, although I just told you what the links are. Let's do a bit of a check of some regional stories just over the borders here in Thailand. ThaiPBSWorld.com, Thailand and Laos agree to tackle online scams and cross-border haze. The Prime Minister Paetongtarn in Laos at the moment. And Thailand and Laos have committed to working together on major issues, include solving the drug problem, online fraud and scams, human trafficking, cross-border haze and water management in the Mekong River. The Thai Prime Minister Paetongtarn Shinawatra said both countries would set up joint working groups to address these issues, with both foreign ministries following up on their progress. Well, ticking all the right boxes, looks like they've nailed most of the main areas of concern at the moment. And a photo there of the Prime Minister of Thailand with the President of Laos. And from, that's Wednesday until Friday, Paetongtarn will attend the ASEAN summits and related meetings held under the theme ASEAN, Enhancing Connectivity and Resilience. And says she'll be participating in discussions with the ASEAN leaders as well as dialogue partners China, South Korea, Japan, Australia, India, the US and Canada on issues of mutual interest. Well, one of those issues of mutual interest is obviously what's happening in Myanmar at the moment, the ongoing Myanmar tragedy, but it looks like the fundamental gears of government are still working so that they can tackle this next story. The Bangkok Post reporting Myanmar talks tackle border river issues. A photo there from Chiang Rai about 2 weeks ago at the peak of the floods. Thailand and Myanmar were expected to discuss today the possibility of dismantling buildings that protrude over the Mersai River as part of bilateral cooperation efforts to tackle the area's flooding problems. In the proposal, the Thai side states that it believes the Mersai River should maintain an average width of at least 30 metres to improve the water flow and significantly reduce the risk of runoff overflowing the riverbanks. The Thai general said the ultimate goal for 2025 is that flooding that results from Mersai overflowing will be successfully prevented. And he explained that in 2018 the Myanmar side had proposed that both sides remove buildings protruding into the Mersai and Nam Ruak rivers in 13 locations, 6 of them on the Myanmar side, 7 on the Thai side. However, he noted, and we're not really surprised, that the proposal has not led to any action until now. So the floods are affecting people on both sides of the river up there in northern Thailand. Obviously there are things that they can do. Whether they do them, of course, we'll just have to see. To another regional issue, PatiaMail.com reporting fears grow about Chinese military influence over Cambodia. And Cambodia's neighbours, including Thailand, are concerned about the rapid rise of Chinese sea power and its possible use of the Ream naval base only a few hundred kilometres south of the Thai naval port of Sattahip. We go to a BBC report written by Jonathan Head. And does China now have a permanent military base in Cambodia, he asks. And 2 grey ships visible from satellites for most of this year at Cambodia's Ream naval base seem to confirm growing fears in Washington that China's expanding its military footprint beyond the 3 disputed islands in the South China Sea, which it's already seized and fortified. And the shapes of the Type 056A corvettes of the Chinese Navy, 1,500-ton warships, and they've been berthed alongside a new Chinese-built pier that's big enough to accommodate much larger vessels. Now, this is quite a long article. I will put a link in the description for those people that are interested. And the Cambodian government has repeatedly denied such a possibility, citing its constitution, which bans any permanent foreign military presence, and stating that Ream is open to use by all friendly navies. And a policy analyst at the Royal Academy of Cambodia says, "Please understand this is a Cambodian, not a Chinese base. Cambodia is very small and our military capacities are limited. We need more training from outside friends, especially from China." And for all the talk about the rapid rise of Chinese sea power, the country now has more ships in its navy than the US, China currently has only 1 overseas military base in the African state of Djibouti. And the US, by contrast, has around 750, one also in Djibouti, and many others in countries close to China, like Japan and South Korea. And the US believes the imbalance is changing, however, because of China's stated ambition to be a global military power. That and the scale of its investments in overseas infrastructure through the Belt and Road Initiative, which under Chinese law must be built to military standards. And a photo there showing the difference between June in 2022 and October this year of that particular area. Not only the pier, but a lot of onshore infrastructure has been added to that port. And Thai national security officials have also privately expressed alarm at the thought of a Chinese base just south of the Thai Navy's main port in Sattahip, covering their exit from the Gulf of Thailand, and the article notes Thailand and Cambodia still have unresolved territorial disputes after all. And Greg Poling, the director of the CSIS Asia Maritime Transparency Initiative, says the Ream base does not add much in the way of power projection. It doesn't get the Chinese Navy any closer to places it wants to go. So some of these territorial disputes and perhaps questionable infrastructure just coming one step closer to Thailand. Anyway, a few different articles, a few different topics on today's program. We look forward to your comments in the comments section. Please, as always, keep it nice and on topic. Otherwise, subscribe to the channel. That would be much appreciated. And we look forward to seeing you tomorrow.